Hey everyone, Christina here from Our Wood Home. Today I'm going to be taking you along as I make some homemade barbecue chicken pizza. So I didn't show on camera how I made the dough, but I will put a link in the description of this video for my blog post with the recipe for that. I make my dough in my KitchenAid stand mixer using the dough hook attachment. It's been really helpful because I hate getting dough on the counter. It's really hard to clean up and I'm just not a fan. So this has worked out great. So I've already, as I said, made the dough. I've let it rise, let it rest, and I'm just stretching it out onto my pizza stone here. I believe this is from Pampered Chef. I'm not sure, I think so. I got it as a wedding present almost 7 years ago. So it's been a while, but we only ever use this for pizza. It's great. If you've never made pizza dough before, it can seem kind of daunting, but it's really not that difficult. I find that the easiest way to stretch it out onto a pan is like I'm doing here, just using my knuckles to kind of press the dough gently. I know some recipes say you should make a little lip around the dough so your toppings don't fall off, but I've never had that issue. You could do that if you want, I guess. In my blog post, which will be linked, I talk about how I didn't really put any quantities in the recipe for the ingredients that I use to top my pizza, and that's because I don't really write down what I'm doing as I'm doing it. I just put on toppings for whatever we're feeling like having that evening. So for this particular dinner, my husband had expressed an interest in me recreating a pizza that he had eaten recently, and he told me what was on it, so I just put that on it in whatever amounts worked for us. So I did a barbecue sauce base. I made the barbecue sauce, but you can use store-bought if that's what you prefer. I was making the barbecue sauce for something else, and I just had some left over, so that's what I opted to use. And then I did cheddar cheese. Again, this is a preference. I'm using the cheese wheel thingy. I don't know that that was the best method, but I thought it might look kind of cool as opposed to the cheese grater. I don't know that it looked cool, but whatever. You can use the cheese grater or you can just buy pre-grated cheese. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever you want to do. I can't even tell you how much cheese I used. Because I just put on cheese until it looked like there was enough cheese. I'm not really a fan of cheese, but like I said before, this is just a personal preference. All the toppings really are a personal preference. So if you like lots of cheese, put on a lot of cheese. I ended up getting some little nubs of cheese stuck in the cheese wheel, so I just put them on in chunks. Now, my husband had specifically requested green pepper, red onion, and jalapeno peppers. So I don't really like those things on my pizza, so I cut them up pretty finely so that there wouldn't be huge chunks. When we make homemade pizza, we always split it in half. So when I put the toppings on, I'll do half what David likes and then half what I like. And that's worked pretty well for us. I always try to do a definitive line of something down the pizza so it's easy to see whose side is whose. And I think I show that later on in the video. I know I'm probably not cutting onions properly, but this is a way that works for me because I have very sensitive eyes, and anytime I cut onions, it just makes my eyes water like crazy. So this method gets it done nice and quickly. I just did a little bit of red onion because they're pretty strong, and I tried to cut them as finely as I could without actually touching them very much. But this is a personal preference. Again, you could use any type of onion that you'd like. The pizza my husband wanted me to recreate did have red onion on it, so that's what I used here. Bet snuck into the kitchen there. She knows she's not allowed in, but I didn't realize she was in because my back was turned. With the jalapeno peppers, I did not put any of those on my side because I do not like them. And I just did a little bit on my husband's side just for a little bit of heat. So for reference, the side on the left of the screen is his pizza, or his side of the pizza. Now to top it, I did cooked rotisserie chicken, or not, it wasn't a rotisserie, it was a whole chicken that we got from a friend, but you could get a rotisserie chicken. You could use chicken breasts, chicken thighs, whatever works for you. I just happened to have a whole chicken, so that's what I used. I did cook it in the slow cooker until it was thoroughly cooked, and I just cut it up, as you can see here, into bite-sized pieces. You could also just shred your chicken and do that on the pizza, or do it in strips, whatever works. So this chicken channel is where I cut on the pizza, right in between the first two rows of chicken pieces I put on. I thought this would work pretty well to decide whose piece is, or to see whose piece is whose. I know that's probably not an important detail, but I'm sharing it anyways. Now, I didn't include this in my recipe, but I just like to put a little bit of pulled pork seasoning on my pizza, just to give it a little smokiness and a little bit of something extra. I decided to do a little drizzle of barbecue sauce on the top of the pizza just because I was afraid the chicken might dry out, since it was going to be just on the top of the pizza there. I guess I could have maybe put the chicken on and then done cheese on top of the chicken, but I decided to do this instead, and it turned out fine. The chicken wasn't too dry, and it gave a nice little sweetness on it as well. So that's pretty much it. I did what you see here, and then I popped it in the oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit preheated oven, and I cooked it for about 20 minutes, possibly a little longer because my husband was a little bit late coming home, but it still tasted delicious. That's my cut line there. I didn't end up getting a picture of how it looked when it came out of the oven because I forgot, but trust me, it was delicious, and you can see some photos of it on my blog there. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and if you did, please let me know in the comments or on my blog post. And if you enjoy seeing the kind of videos that I put out, I would love for you to subscribe. Thanks for watching.